Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there. Just let me know it's working. Hope everybody's having a pretty good morning so far. Hopefully your evening was good. Hopefully trading's been going well for you as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. As always, I need to remind you guys about the risks involved in the market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, as well as how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So go through that process each and every time that you take a trade. It's super important to do so. Okay, guys, so we had a lot of news last night. So there's a lot of currency pairs we need to steer away from, but nonetheless should be good. I am really tempted to take a short on that euro franc right now. There was no news on the euro, but there was some news last night with the franc. So that news appears to be kind of settled out at this point. It was kind of a while ago. It wasn't, in the last 5 or 6 hours. So I feel like I'm tempted to go ahead and short the euro franc. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me actually grab a couple of trades here first. Yeah, we're right up at that upper Bollinger Band. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, perfect. Let me grab a few over on this platform as well. And let's short over here. It's 2, 3. So I am pushing this one just a little bit, but the news on that is kind of getting old. So I feel comfortable with this one starting out. So I just have a starter position, right? Like I'm not doing anything crazy, just a starter position, because you do have to be aware this can go up quite a bit. So let's talk about those levels where this could go up to. So you'd be looking at, somewhere around here. You could, as a potential level, that's a solid level. Right here is another solid area or level. And then the next one after that is basically right here. So if the market wants to continue to make highs this morning, like I could totally see it come all the way up to here before it could come down. And just so you know, that is 30 pips away. So, plan accordingly. That is a possibility in this market. We could see a market move all the way up to there before this would actually come down in our favor. So be aware of that. Let me look at, see if there's anything else lining up. Again, we have to stay away from the pound. If you take a look here, they had their rate statement last night. Now it was to expectation, which is a good thing. So that's going to be, a signal for less volatility. But nonetheless, they did have their rate statement. They did raise their rates last night. They basically copycatted the United States. And then some dollar news. And then, yeah, the Frank had news last night. Had its inflation report come out. And that is reflective on the charts. I believe it's this move right here. So this was the news event for the Frank. And it was kind of underwhelming. I mean, like you look at this and it's like, okay, it moved down 27 pips and it came back up, 3 pips from where it started. So, I think it's kind of you're starting to see that thing wear off a little bit. So I feel comfortable doing a banker's close trade on this. Okay, let's see, what else should we talk about here? So I've got my levels drawn out where this market could potentially go before it comes back. And again, I do believe that it is possible. I'm not saying it will, but it's not unheard of to see the market come up to here, all the way up to here, which is 30 pips away. So, ask yourself, hey, is my initial lot size too big to handle a 30 pip drawdown? If so, then you need to lower that position size. Okay. In my experience, trading the euro franc. I've gone and back tested several months of the euro franc. Um, the euro franc has the potential to go up about 40 pips against you. That's about the worst drawdown I've ever seen with the euro franc when you're trading the banker's close. So yeah, that's why I'm saying 30 pips is a possibility. And even 40 pips, up to here is also on the table, before you get that nice pullback where you're going to make your money. That's only been on a couple of days, so I think it would be kind of rare to see that kind of a move, all the way up to there. It's more likely that the market just pulls back now and we get, our 10 pips on this trade and we're done for the day. It's more likely that, but I'm just letting you know what all the possibilities are. And there is no other news today, so I think any volatility that's happened has already happened. So I think we're in a good spot. Again, I'm staying clear of the pound, especially because rate statements are the king of all news events in the Forex world. So there's no other news that could be bigger or more substantial than a rate statement. I mean, you do have things like, unemployment does matter, inflation does matter, especially right now. But I'd say even more than that, rate statements have more to do with affecting the currency and the value of the currency than any other macroeconomic factor. So again, that's pound is absolutely off limits right now. And you'll look at the pound, like we can look at the pound franc and you'll see it hasn't moved a ton. Well, actually, I guess that is kind of a bigger move, isn't it? But it's not like it's a multi-hundred pip move. It's not like it moved 400 pips. It did move about 100 though, and it's now down 80 from where it started that news event today. But it's stuff I don't feel comfortable just hopping into. So we'll stick to our euro franc here. As far as targets go, let's talk about that now that we've talked about the risks with this trade and where it could possibly go before we get our move that we're hoping for. So basically, here's your 3 scenarios, actually 4 scenarios. Scenario 1, it just comes by the end of the webinar to our target. Scenario 2 comes up to this support and then comes down later in the day. Scenario 3, same thing. Or scenario 4, those are all your scenarios. And then I guess the last scenario is it just doesn't stop and it goes nonstop to the stop loss, right? That one is very unlikely, especially because, like I said, through all my back testing, as long as there's no news really affecting these currency pairs, on the euro franc specifically, the biggest move I ever recorded in the banker's close hour was 40 pips against the signal. And that's several months of back testing. So I do, like I said, I do feel good about that. All right, so let's talk about take profits. So your take profit opportunities would be to close either here. There's a lot of confluence right there. That's also about the mid Bollinger Band. And then another take profit opportunity would be just in this support right there. Those are the 2 areas we're eyeing for profit opportunities today. We also may leave a trade on to kind of run the rest of the day, just as a more kind of like hopeful trade to see if it'll go that direction. But yeah, that's also on the table too. So, oh, nice. Swinging the euro franc. That's nice. Yeah, that's that probably caught report type of trade. That's awesome. Yep, that's great. So now we just work with, now that we know our levels and what to expect, now our job is just to trade it and be patient while we're waiting. I'm going to delete all this stuff because I got a lot of stuff on here and I'm just going to redraw my lines. So take profit line 2, take profit line 1, level. Actually, there's a couple of levels here. I just realized. Then there's this level, and then this level right there. So I'm going to add another little trade, just kind of add as we go type of thing. And I've got to get my counter out because I count how many trades I have. And with this pair, I allow myself to go up to 40 trades, which is kind of a lot, but what I've done is for my other account over here, I can lose up to 40 trades at a 40 pip stop loss, and I'll still be within my 5% of the day. In fact, it'll be like a 4% loss, which would stink, but it's still within the risk management parameters that I've set up. So let me go ahead and pull up my counter. Where did I put it? Here it is. So I have, let me count my trades real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 trades currently. And it does kind of look like, it does give me a lot of vibes of wanting to break higher before we get that move lower. So I am being a little bit slower to adding to my position because I do feel kind of like a sense of like the market wants to fill in this gap right here. Like it wants to come up here and fill in the cup, right? That bull concept. So if it wants to fill this in, yeah, definitely it could come up to here before it comes down. And so that's why I'm being a little bit slower to adding this morning. Still adding, but it's not like I'm putting a big trade on my initial position. All right. Now that I have all those lines drawn out to give us a guideline for the day, I'm going to jump down to a 1-minute chart so that we can kind of narrow in on the candlesticks and kind of what's going on. And at the same time, let's go ahead and bring some of these targets to where they belong, right? So right in here, this is an initial target. And we can kind of scatter these out. That's what's so cool about taking multiple trades is you don't have to exit all at one spot, right? You can strategically exit over time and over the price. Yeah, something like that looks really good to me. So right in this alley right here is kind of what we're hoping to make today. Right through there. And that, as you guys know too, that can change. Like if this market breaks even higher, that new target area may move to more like right here, you know, or wherever it's going to be, but nonetheless. All right, let's see what happens here. It's pulled back some from where it just was, from that little peak that it just made. We'll see if it holds. I'm not too convinced yet, to be honest. Like I'm a little pessimistic with that. Part of me just wants to be pessimistic because I want to be ready and willing to work with this market. Like I don't want to be surprised that it could go up to here, especially from the analysis that we just did. So yeah, this could turn into a trade with a lot of like trades in it, definitely. And so I want to be ready for that. And now you just kind of wait since it's pulled back a little bit into our favor. I'm not adding to the position, but we also aren't at a take profit point. So I'm just hands off and waiting for the next move in the market, right? And we wait, right? Just wait. It's very low on volatility right now, and that's a good thing. That's what we want. It also kind of means that news event isn't really affecting us. Like it seems like it was a, once the news event was over, it just went back into what it does, you know. Okay. And it's just sitting on basically our starter position. The only trade that's profitable is the one we added just a few moments ago. And so we're waiting to see if it wants to break lower from this level, or does it want to go back up? Looks like it's kind of wanting to break lower. We'll see. I mean it just, and for a second it did, right? But it's really the candlesticks, if you kind of fill them out on the 1 minute chart, that's why I like to go to the 1 minute chart. It's not really pushing hard. Like they're not flickering a lot. They're just kind of meandering candlesticks. I don't even know how to say it, but when they flicker a lot, to me, I'm like, oh man, I'm a little scared. Not scared, but I'm cautious with adding to the position because you know that there's a potential that this could go quite a bit higher before. So now that I'm seeing this, if it comes back up, I may add a few more trades and get just a tiny bit more aggressive with it because it's the way the candlesticks are moving now, and conversely some other days that we've traded, um, it's quite slow. It's really slow. So I feel a little bit better about the position just because of that. Um, Also, if you take a look at that 5 minute candlestick bar, just for a second, you can see how you have your pin bar up here. Okay, somebody's willing to sell this. Somebody's willing to sell, right? We had that exact same thing happen yesterday with the Euro franc, just on the opposite side. Like if you go back and look at right here, this is what we traded yesterday. We got into the webinar and then this guy happened, right? This was the start of the webinar yesterday. And then 10 minutes later, this guy happened. What does that mean? Well, typically it's a sign that the market's losing strength to the downside and it's building strength to the upside. And boy, was that the case, right? About 30 minutes into the webinar, we hit all of our targets. So that was a really awesome trade. And you have that confirmation coupled with the fact that you're in the banker's close hour. There is slowing momentum just naturally at that end of the day. The banks do want to close out their positions by the London close, which happens at 10 a.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Eastern. So, you look at that coupled with all that other information that we've got, the break in the lower Bollinger Band, it's just a solid trade. The same similar things happening today, just without, the significant news, right? We've got a pin bar up here. We're in the banker's close hour. We've broken the upper Bollinger Band, that kind of stuff makes me feel a little bit more confident. So yes, if we get a break higher, I may just get a tad bit more aggressive with it just because, yeah, I think we're starting to see some signs of slowing up here. In fact, I think I may grab, let me see if it can grab this. I'm going to put a little pending sell limit. Oh, it's invalid. It's probably because the spread's a little wide. I'll go ahead and grab another sell right there. And we wait, right? Let's see, I'm trying to find any other analysis that can go with what we're doing. This is not a trend because I don't have that third point of engagement, but I'm curious to see if the market will come and hit that and then bounce off of it on the 1 minute, trying to find anything else. No, that's basically the analysis. Yeah, it's been really slow, which is a good thing for us, right? Um, um, it's a good thing for us. So, yes, on my other account, Ramon, that's probably what I would make. Let's see, because most of my targets are down in here. So if the average target is 10 pips, I've got some that are down here as well. With how many trades do I have? 9 trades. I have 9 right now at a half a contract a piece. So yeah, I mean, it's like $450, $500. Um, that's kind of what I'd be looking at on this trade opportunity. Um, yeah, that's probably about right. I kind of wish I had put a little bit bigger of a trade on it, but I was a little concerned with going back to that 5 minute. My biggest concern was I've seen a lot of these types of trades before where, the market's coming down. It forms this really nice high up here, and the market wants to fill in like a cup. It wants to fill in the cup. It's actually called the cup and handle. And so I didn't want to be stuck at the bottom of the cup here with the market coming up to here. Yes, granted, if it fills in the cup, it will pull back. But I could be down many thousands of dollars if it got up to there. So I wanted to be a little more cautious with my adding today. Otherwise, I feel like I would have added maybe an extra 5 trades or whatever. But um, and who knows, that still might happen. We're not at our targets yet, right? But that's just something that I observed, and I wanted to be a little cognizant of it, right? Rather make an easier $500 than a very scary 1,000. Um, yeah. On the other days though, where it's just like clean cut, super easy, we'll go ahead and add more to those days. Plus, there also was a news event with the Frank last night, so that was another reason to be just a little bit cautious. But from what I can tell now, it seems to be, um, again, the way the candlesticks have formed, the way everything's kind of going, I'm not seeing a huge threat to this trade at this point. And other thing to note on the 5-minute chart, this is the slowing and increasing momentum concept. You can see we are slowing in momentum, right? At first, it was going pretty hard around the news event up to the upside and made a high, pulled back a little, made another high. That high was not as high as or as aggressive as the previous high. And then we've done the same thing again. We've created another high and it's not pulled as high as the most recent. So that's slowing momentum. That's a concept you need to watch out for that helps either conform. It can either confirm or it can help you stay out of a bad trade, right? So in this case, it's helped us confirm our signal that yes, this market is getting closer and closer to a top. And when I say top, it's just a top for now. Like it could certainly go back and resume its uptrend for sure. But I think we've gotten pretty close to where this market wants to be for the day. All right, I'm going to go back down to the 1 and just kind of monitor from here. All right, and we just kind of wait. Oh, and let me draw my vertical lines. I really like to do that just to kind of keep track of where we are relative to the banker's close hour. Those are our lines. So we're about halfway through the hour. So the opportunity to add to the position will exist for another 30 minutes. And then at that point, you need to have your trades kind of honed in at that point and ready to go, ready to either if you've hit your targets, then you're done. If you haven't, you can leave the trades out. We've done that process before, but as far as adding to the position, you're done for the day. It's not a ton of interest in this pair right now, and that's a good thing for us. I actually really like that. I mean, I say that every time, but I like it when there's not a lot of interest in pushing the pair, just because, um, well, because that means that the phenomenon is most likely to take place because there's not a lot of interest in doing something different with it for the day. So the chance of me being able to get my banker's close opportunity increases. All right, it does appear that it's trying to gear up to make another high, so be ready for that. And we will add to the position. It's got a little bit of a flag going on right here. So that I do think it could try to make another run for it, and we'll reevaluate, how far, at what point does it stop and we start adding again. Most likely, if it does make another high, it'll come to here and pause. So we'll definitely add a couple trades there. And then obviously the next level's up here. So oh, and I don't know if I answered your question exactly the way you were asking it. So the target I have is my mid-range target basically is 0.98746, kind of that area right here. That's actually 12 or 13 pips away. To make the just $500, you'd be looking at like 0.98 763, something like that. Yeah. If the thing is though, if the market does go higher and we add to that position, what's nice is you're adding, and so that midpoint comes up, and so you don't have to go as far to make the same amount. It just kind of adjusts, but at the current moment, that's as far as we would need to go to make that. This is interesting. Every time it makes an attempt to the upside, it just gets met, with the bears. Same thing with the bulls too. Like every time we try to send it down, it does get met with the bulls too, but it doesn't seem as sturdy or as strong. So I definitely feel, if you are a buyer, it's like no one's really helping you. The market's more likely to either come down or just like flatline for the day. I was also thinking about it too. I could be wrong. Let's see. So that inflation report came out slightly better, if I read it correctly, for the franc. So if it came out slightly better, that means that's good that would increase the value of the franc. So if the euro goes up, that means the franc down. Since we're hoping this comes down, that means euro down, franc up. So I think we're even aligned with that news event. Our positions aligned with the overall news event, but I think it was hardly anything to mention that it doesn't even really matter, which is why we're not seeing a lot of volatility on this pair right now. And we wait. Kind of a boring first 30 minutes of the morning, but that's okay, right? That is okay. While we're waiting on this for just a second, I do want to take a look at some of the news that's coming out over the next 24 hours, so you guys are aware. So we're done for the day with news. Tomorrow, though, there's a lot that you've got. One second, we're getting movement on that chart. I got to add to this. All the opportunities there. Okay, so that's the biggest bar we've seen this morning. Now let's see where it goes, because obviously all of this is fair game all the way up to there to fill in that cup and handle. So you still want to be careful. It's kind of a violent bar that just came all at once, and sometimes you'll see a little bit of a fall through or they'll fade out. So far this one's fading out, but let's see if it'll come back. It's not done yet. So I added just 2 trades up here with our buddy. So now I've got 3 total trades up at this level. I'm just going to put my hand on the trigger because, yeah, if it impulses above that most recent peak it just made, yeah, I'd like to add another trade. We're in a really good spot right now, in terms of, like our drawdown. Like I'm only down less than 0.2%. Now I'm down 0.1%. But again, you still have to be cognizant of the fact that, this is still potential. Like up to here is, I know it seems crazy, but it is possible that the market could come up to there. That's 26 above its current high. So just be aware of that. All right, so it's fading now. This is interesting. It's fading back. Okay, it's gonna try. I mean, this is interesting. It's got a little bit of a pin bar right here. So this may try to make another run up. Let's see if it falls through. Um, yeah, if it falls through, then we'll ride up to the next level or two. So you just got to be ready for that. I think I'm gonna place like a pending order sell limit right here, just a few up here because I want to catch if it does do one of those violent bars again. I'd like to catch some trades and liquidity up here. So I'm just gonna place some pendings up there. Some pending orders. Actually, let me just expand these out just a little bit. There. See if it does it. Might fail though. So I mean, if it comes down, great. We'll just make our money. But I'm ready for it to come up a little bit more if it wants to. On my other account, I'm up to 12 total trades right now. I've got 12 total. Yes, that's right. So basically these pending orders, Ramon, if the market were to come back up, they would fill my sell positions automatically. And what's cool is those can trigger whether you're at the computer or not. Yeah, if you're gonna trade that way, make sure that you've got to take profit and stop loss already well defined because the trade's going to be doing stuff without you there. So if it triggers, you want to make sure that your risk management's installed and in place. Oh, here we go. Nice. Before you get into that trade. Let's see what this does. That was really convincing right there. It looks like this market is really struggling to make those highs. It really is. Um, like it tries so hard to make a high and then this happens, right? So this may be the end for it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cancel just the pending orders because this market has proven that it can't go. It's just anemic to go up, which is good for us, right? So we're basically back down to basically where our starter position's at. Um, not quite there, but we were there for a second. The candlesticks are getting a little bit more violent and they're getting a little bit more aggressive. So just be aware of that as we trade. Okay, here we go. So let's see if we can grab this may pump through. Let's see. That was a really convincing bull candle. So I'm kind of surprised actually. We're in that last 15 minutes of the London session. So I mean, there could be a lot of players in the market trying to get what they want right now. There's probably a lot of liquidity built in to this market. But based off of this, the fact that it bounced so hard and then came right back on a single bar, now I'm starting to feel like the bulls are going to get what they want. So this is very back and forth. The narrative has changed multiple times with this pair. So again, we might be in for round 2 or 3 of moves to the upside. So just be ready for that. This looks like at any moment it's going to break higher at any moment. Here we go. Grab one there. What an interesting market today, right? It really cannot make up its mind. What's nice is it will, once it's ready, like it will settle out at some point today and it will start pulling back. Um, maybe that's now, who knows, with how crazy this is. It's interesting how it just started so sweet and kind, and now the candlesticks have gotten violent. And I do think that has a lot to do with the fact that, you're 10 minutes to a close, a significant close in the market. Um, they're trying to figure out, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm also monitoring on my other chart, the 5 minute, uh, I'm monitoring the 5 minute chart to see where that mid Bollinger Band is, and we're still a ways away from it. So we haven't gotten to our target. Or we haven't gotten close to our initial target yet. So, we're good to stay in the trade. Um, in a way, I kind of wish it would break higher so that I could separate and keep some distance from that mid Bollinger Band, because the longer time progresses, that mid Bollinger Band comes up closer. Assuming that there hasn't been a big move, and there hasn't been a big move yet. So in a way, I kind of would like it to go against me a little bit more so that I could get some really good pricing. And then once I've got that pricing, I'll go ahead and, when it finally pulls back to the mid Bollinger Band at some better pricing, um, then we can feel more comfortable. Yeah, it's been basically in an 8 pip range for a whole hour, which is kind of crazy. And we've got 10 minutes left to add to the position. So again, like that's kind of why I'm like, well, maybe it would be nice if this market could go against us a little bit so that we could create that separation. And then we'll make most of our money on those higher price trades. And then when it comes back down, we're in a better spot. But are you guys aware of any news or anything like that coming up? I mean, I'm just being so cautious because there were a lot of news events this morning. But the way these candlesticks are wicking back and forth, it makes me wonder if there's something that I'm not aware of. And that's why I'm just like allowing you guys to let me know if I missed something, but I don't see anything. I'm looking at the list here. Don't see anything. Everything is Bank of England, and it was 3 hours ago, the most recent news event. and it wasn't even with this pair. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is what we're supposed to do then. Yeah, CAD, dollar, CAD, yeah. Hopefully we can break it though, Lee. You know, next we got 9 minutes left till the top of the hour. I'd love to see something break. I mean, even if it went up, I'd be fine with that too, because then we can add a little bit more and then just place our targets for the, the next couple of hours and see where it goes from there. I guess ideally though, right? We would all love it to just to come down and swipe those targets and we'd be done. Because that mid Bollinger Band on the 5 minute is now getting it's just underneath our starter position. So that's where I'm like, oh man, I'd almost like it to go up to create some separation, because that mid Bollinger Band is starting to come up a little bit. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to move some of these targets up just a little bit. So let's go ahead and bring these to kind of like here-ish. And kind of spread them out with that in mind. Come on, you can do it. Just get it done. Get it done. I know you can do it, market. Swipe through there. Just come down, swipe all of those, open up the cash register, and let's go. Come on. On the 5 minute chart, this most recent move down is just a single bar and it's engulfing like the entire range. So if it closes that way, that might be an invitation to send this even lower. So let's see if this can get it done. Come on, swipe through there. Difference of the spread pretty much. Come on, take them. Take them, take them. Get it done. Come on, market. If we could get one more big candlestick move like that most recent one, that would be it. I'm feeling it. Come on, look at these. So this most recent candle's got it's the bigger pin bar right here. If it can close that way, let's see what happened to it actually. There it is. I guess it didn't quite close the way I thought it was going to close, but yes, it does have a pin bar on the top. So, I'm just hopeful. I'd like to end the webinar. We got 4 minutes. I'd like one more solid candlestick down, and then we can call most of our trades at that point. I was looking, there were today, obviously this is going to be fine. This trade, I mean, it's a little bit more of a grind, but there were a couple of other trades we could have taken today. Like I think the euro yen would have been a good one to have taken as an alternative because we didn't have the pounds to work with. Um, the euro CAD would have been one, but we'd be stuck in that trade right now. And I can't remember if there was news on the CAD this morning, but that's one we could have done. The Aussie franc would have been one. So yeah, there were a couple of options for us, but I still like this pair, and I love that it's kind of like our go-to, and we know how to trade it in addition to the euro pound and the pound franc, right? Come on, market, do it, do something, right? I'd like one more bar down. Just give me one more bar and we're done. In reality, I probably should lighten the position just a little bit around here. I probably should. Kind of greedy this morning though, but especially because I think I can still work with this throughout the morning if I have to. So that's why I haven't really closed out a lot of my trades, because I think this market's slow enough that even throughout the morning, if I have to continue to play with this, I could. But again, these are my targets through here. So if this market, or when this market finally busts through here, this is where the cash register is. Like everything is lined up to close in this area. But I probably, like I said, won't be adding to the trade at this point. Just kind of keeping what I currently have open. And hang on, I just want to see if this bar does it. There's been several instances this week where we wrap up the webinar and then, 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, we hit all of our targets. So I think I will, just because I'm supposed to do this, just close out one or two trades at break even to kind of, I guess I lost 1.5 pips on those just to, now that the market's come down in our favor, we want to kind of lighten the position just a little bit. So now I'm just left with these trades. And again, one or two more bars down, we'll hit the cash register and we'd be done. The London market just closed about 6 seconds ago. So now it's just a matter of follow through throughout the rest of the morning. So I'm not adding to the position, just hanging on to these. Keep an eye close on the Telegram channel so I can keep you posted on where we're going from here. I'm up actually a couple $100 on my other account. It's, but I am trying to make that $500-600 today. And that will happen if I can get into this area right here, if I can bust through it. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Targets or stop losses, excuse me. Let's real quickly, I know we're going over just a second, but let's set that up. So here's how you figure out your stop loss if you're going to leave a trade past the hour. So let's do, let's see, MATAF, right? So since we're leaving the trades out, you want to figure out your stop loss. And what we do is you just go to the Forex volatility, trading tools, volatility, and then you come in here and you search pound, or not pound franc, I'm thinking pound franc, euro franc, right? And then you find out what today's volatility is. And Thursday's is a little bit higher, and that's 100 pips. So you'd have a 25 pip stop loss. And hang on, looks like it might bust through here. Well, let me go ahead and set these stop losses up while this is waiting here, because this would be really fun if it did finally bust through. So you can pick, like you can say from the current price, go up 25 pips. I think I will do that. You could just take it from your worst trade and go up 25. I mean, there's a couple of ways you can do it. This is really just to protect you from a big loss, right? Okay, we just had one trade hit its TP, which is great. And we'll see if we get a little follow through with that. But let's go ahead and bring these stop losses in. Again, 25 pips from the current price would put us at this line basically right there. And the risk to reward ratio is upside down. I know I'm going to have people ask me like, why do you do that? Like, isn't that crazy? Not necessarily. If you're winning 95% of the days you trade and you're only upside down like slightly relative to the targets that you have, I think it's fine, right? Like last month in October, we only had one losing day, one losing day in all of October. So, okay, we just had some more TPs hit, which is nice. Okay, all those are in. So we'll just let this ride just a little bit longer. And again, you'll get an update from me later today. You know, if anything changes, obviously if they hit all their TPs, we're done. I'll still update you. If the market comes back up, I'll update you on that too, on how we're managing the trade. But nonetheless, you've got your stop loss in, you've got your targets in, and we're done adding for the day. So otherwise, it's been a successful day. You can see we've already clocked in 10.7 pips. We've got 23 unrealized, and with hopefully many more pips to come. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, guys. Well, appreciate your attendance. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow.